Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, my fellow Chibits. Today, I'm here to bring all of you the weekly anime review of Food Wars Season 2, Episode 5, if I'm correct. I could be wrong with that. I think this is Episode 5. So, this week's episode takes the time to slowly build up the match between Soma and King of Stalkers Subaru. That's what the entirety of this episode is about. Building up that climactic battle, the Shokugeki. And I love how in this entire episode, Soma's kind of going through some character development. He's realizing what it means kind of to be a chef and what he needs to do to improve himself, to surpass his old self. Because the match he's about to go up against Subaru, it's not a normal Shokugeki. This match that Soma is doing is completely different because it's not like he's actually going up against another chef. He's going up against himself, because the very person he's going up against is a man that copies what you cook, and then he kind of makes it better than it once was. So with the way this episode was, it was where Soma has to face his old self and figure out, can he surpass his old self, but also can he surpass someone that is going to try to surpass Soma's new self. So I really like the layer to this episode, and I like the direction that the writer was taking it, and alongside getting to see that it's about creativity. For instance, who is more creative than the other, and who can make the actual dish better than it was. And the main dish, the topic of this, entire Shokugeki is beef stew. Now, I really do like the dynamic of the beef stew and the way it was explained in this episode, and it's something I've never really thought about, because I've been in diners. Look, I'm in Tennessee. I live in, like a country type setting, and I go to little diners and stuff and eat some, beef stew and all that type of stuff. And when there was the topic discussed in this, like how Soma, he's always been in this little diner and cooking and stuff, diners make beef stew to not taste as good on the first bite. They make it taste better as you continue to eat it, and it's where you don't get, like the bored of the taste. And Soma was constantly making food like this. He was making food kind of like, you would make in a diner. And then you have these high-class restaurants, when they make food, they want the food to be as good on the first bite as every bite's. And I love the direction of this, so seeing how, like, the difference of cooking when you compare, like, diners to high-class restaurants. And I don't know necessarily if high-class restaurants do that or not, but it was just really cool getting to see how Soma has to learn that even though he has this certain style to his cooking, he needs to evolve that style and make it even better. He has to go into that different type of territory. And so this is a very good step for him to learn how to be completely different from his once younger self as a chef. So yeah, episode overall, I felt like it got the point across to show what type of direction Soma needs to take. It also showcased how twisted Subaru is as a person or a chef, and he'll do anything he can to win. And also, with how he uses image training, he puts himself in the shoes of his opponent. It's something that is disgusting, the way we've seen some of his practices in, the last episode, but it's something also to be admired, because, even though he is a stalker, and it's just borderline, or actually it is fucking creepy, the man has to be commended for one thing. At the very least, he does his research, and to be able to do that type of training where he places himself in someone else's shoes, not many people can do that, regardless of the creepy aspect of it. So, Subaru in his own way, he's very talented, and if he used this talent for other things, he could become an insane chef. So hopefully after this match, Subaru gets the development he needs as well, to learn that he doesn't need to constantly just be copying people or being a stalker. He needs to actually try to be creative on his own, make his own dishes without using others. Oh yeah, so one last thing I want to talk about before I end this video. I really like the little news reporter kid in this episode, of how he was following around Soma, and he was like, Soma, you're such a big story, I get the inside scoop of you, what's going on. It was such a good moment too, because it goes to show you that eventually one day Soma's gonna have to deal with stuff like this. If you get your own restaurant, you become popular, you're gonna have news reporters, the press, and all that all around you wanting to know more about you, trying to figure out what your secrets are. And Soma, this is kind of like his first step to showcasing how popular he is, and his, how famous he's getting as he continues along his road of becoming a very good chef. So seeing how that little reporter boy was just following around throughout this episode, it's kind of like a precursor to what we might be able to see in the future with Soma when the press starts coming in towards him. And I do like that. I like getting to see that realistic aspect to the episode. So yeah, tell me your thoughts in the comments below. How did you feel about this week's episode of Shokugeki no Soma? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.